Hello, everyone. This is the second episode of Woolfer Wins. I'm Vanessa Trost, and I'm here with Denise Tierney, and we're going to talk about watercolors and watercolor painting. And I'm really, really excited about it because, you know what, it looks like we have to sit a couple more weeks, hopefully only at home. So I think this would be a great new skill we can acquire or improve on during that time, and hopefully it will keep us a little bit of busy company and improve ourselves. And maybe Denise, if you could tell us something about yourself, who you are, where you're coming from. I mean, I'm in Brooklyn. I think you're at the other side of the coast.
Right,
And
right,
how you
right.
found
Thank you.
watercolors.
Yes, I am I'm north of San Francisco in Marin County, and I am, I've always been some kind of an artist. I've always loved art. My mom has apologized to me just recently. She calls me Paula Picasso because she says, I can't believe that we never helped you follow up with this, because I really have always been a drawer and a painter. 9 years ago, I went to cosmetology school and became a hairstylist and makeup artist. And that has a lot to do with weight and design and color. And that kind of helped me manifest that. And I stopped doing that 3 years ago. I had a good 6-year run. I got to fulfill that dream. And I've been retired for 3 years. And in December, before December, I kept getting ads on Facebook for a company that I'm not affiliated with, and they don't know anything about this, but that's called letsmakeart.com. And I sent away for a subscription box. You want to hear about this now? Yes.
Yes. I mean, we can talk about it because obviously we all have to start somewhere. And this seems to be like a really good start. I have a little bit of the content up behind me.
Yeah. So I bought a kit, and they will give you everything you need for 4 projects. The YouTube videos are free. They give you 8 pieces of paper, and they give you these little cards like this, and they give you little designs of like how to do it. And so you can do it like with a little card, little steps, or you can watch the YouTube videos. And they gave me 5 little paints. You have to get your own brushes. But I thought, I could start this. I could have something to do. And Vanessa, you put up, this was my first little penguins.
I want to show that because you sent that to me, and I was so impressed because I really love those guys. I mean, first of all, I'm a huge penguin fan. So it's literally like my favorite animal.
How fun, yeah.
I want a pet penguin, but I can't. I have been told I can't. So I think your painting has to.
Well, thank you. There's a book called Tacky the Penguin. That's one of my our family's favorites. And my son, who is now 27, but he is still best friends with his kindergarten teacher. And she read a story the first week of school called Tacky the Penguin. And those 5 penguins have the names of Tacky the Penguin's friends under them. So for anybody who would want to start with watercolors, I can highly recommend Let's Make Art. Just get a couple of the box subscriptions. They'll give you enough. They're liquid paints. This is kind of a template. They give you graphite paper, and that's what I was able to make.
Wow. That's pretty good. So do you like the way how they teach? Is it like at your own time, or do you have to log in at a certain time?
I do. She wastes too many words for me. So I ended up finding, and we can list this later. I can list these, but or I can tell you what they are. But I did find then I started going to YouTube videos, and I ended up finding things like this to do. And I did my heirloom carrots, and this was one of my Christmas ones. Wow, my little hanging bells.
And did you paint with watercolors before, or is that literally like you? No. Okay, so that's pretty impressive. I mean, obviously, you said you are very talented.
I was an artist before.
But you think somebody who has not worked in that medium or painted before could actually go and start? And
yes. Yeah, I actually believe that the YouTube videos that Sarah Craig does, Let's Make Art. And I have seen the work that is posted, and it's everything from, everybody's a beginner, and some of it's really good and some of it's not. Some of them added little barns and a horse and a mailbox to that. And I thought, I don't know how to do that yet when I did that in December. So there were people who took it way off. Yeah. And there are some people that I look at and think, well, good, she's practicing. It's not. But since then, I have a gay son, so I got into some LGBT art, and I've sold some of these. This one, I have sold quite a few of these dandelions. And then I came up with, and just to show you how it kind of ends up working, I get an image in my head, and I wanted to be this, be a light in the community, but I thought those kind of looked like penises or something. I didn't like how that looked. Right. So then you exactly. So, you know, it's not like I knew exactly how to make a candle. This was my first iteration. And the one on the back wall is what I decided to come up with after that. Right. So that's what I did.
I really liked it because obviously at the Woolfer we're a community, and I really liked the execution, and I thought it was really nice. You know, it was just like a good message, and it looked really great to me. I mean, I'm no art critic, but I look at that and go like,
yeah, thanks. You know, and it was my second thing of candles, and I just look at pictures, and there's a lot of YouTube videos. But what I found out is once I learned a lot of technique, and I want to go through some of the things that I bought before we end. Once I got through the technique, I want to be able to tell you, you know, some of the products that I've bought, and, you know, just the progression. This was my first poppy, and that was my last poppy, and that was a medium poppy. So, you know, I went on YouTube, and you can just find like how to do stuff. What I figured out was these are these little liquid colors, and they're just fine. But the reason we talked about the Winsor and Newton Cotman set, Winsor and Newton, and this is my palette. They are one of the highest quality brands, Winsor Newton is, but the Cotman set is their medium quality. Paints are made from pigments that come from the ground, and there is a professional grade quality. Cotman is their mid grade, and then there's a student grade. When I read about it, it said that the student grade separated more, the pigments ran. So I chose to buy a mid grade set. These are full panels so that they can be replaced when I want to, and they just kind of come out, and I can arrange them in any order that I want to. And this set ran about $50.
Yeah, I looked it up. When we put up the video, we're going to put like a bunch of resources with it so that if people are interested to get started or look it up, they have a good informative start.
Good. So, I bought another palette, and these little wells right here are for when you buy extra colors. So I didn't have a good pink. So I ended up, I thought I had it right here. I bought a little tube. So I started buying the professional grade tubes, and that's what this is right here. That's just a little bit of that professional grade. So as I get rid of my Cotman colors, with any set that you might buy, I suggest making a color chart. This is kind of a gradation from the dark to the light, and it shows, I've looked up if they were warm or cool, and it shows what colors I have. So now when I want to look at something, because I didn't know the colors well, if I want a reddish brown or a cool brown, I can see what my colors are.
Yeah, I read that as a beginner, it would be good to buy the palettes and not like the tubes, because it's a little bit easier to handle for, you know, I'm just saying, obviously you might have people who are already very experienced, but someone else might just want to be starting. And I know sometimes when you start, it's a little frustrating in the beginning because it doesn't, you know, when you start something, it doesn't work automatically. So I think it's always good to know a little help, you know?
Exactly. Well, and these pots, these pans are kind of some basic colors. And they even tell you what these are the liquid ones. To give you a contrast, those 24 colors of the Cotman series was about $50. This tube was 10, and it's the professional grade. So, you know, I didn't want to invest $200 or $300 on some basic colors. They do recommend, though, that you put this into a little pan and you let it dry, just like those solid ones, and then you just re-wet it. You can use them wet or dry.
Would you think that if you buy the Let's Make Art set, that is a good idea if you're not sure, you've never painted before, so now you want to try it, that's a good try. If you buy one box and you're like, oh, I really like it, and then you can stock up on the other thing.
What happened with me, though, is that I had a red, a blue, a green, a Payne's gray, and a yellow, but I didn't have the other colors. So I had the 5 colors with my Let's Make Art set, and I felt really limited because I could do the 4 projects for that month, the ornaments, the penguin, but it was harder to mix and to figure out.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
I mean, it's not that expensive, $50, but I'm just saying sometimes
no,
people
and
are not
the Let's Make
sure and
Art
they want to get
kits,
started.
yeah, the Let's Make Art kits, I think are 40 or 45 for 4 projects that you can do at least twice.
Yeah.
I want to show you my paper.
Yeah.
This is a really good basic paper. This Canson XL is a very good starter paper. It's made of cellulose, which is wood. And these sheets run about 60 cents a piece. I just went into this. This is Arches, and everybody was talking about Arches. This is 100% cotton paper, and it absorbs the water differently. It makes a glorious, I'm working on 2 new sunflowers right now. It absorbs the water, it's thick, and this is about $2 a sheet. So you
gotta be sure when you use those.
Well, I would say go ahead and practice on the Canson XL. And you can get, this is 30 sheets and it runs about, I don't know, $18.
Yeah,
and
I found it somewhere for 10. I looked it up and there was just
right,
like,
you can do that.
You can get it for $10 or something.
Right.
So it's okay if you get started.
And then I have found there's a Princton, they'll sell brushes at the Let's Make Art sale or at a site. But these Princton, I have a couple of Princton brushes.
Yeah.
The Princton Heritage, Vanessa. Yeah. The Princton Heritage or the brushes, they're like $6 or $8. Synthetic squirrel or sable. A number 6 and a number 2 is what Sarah Cray recommends on the Let's Make Art set. And you can buy the brush from them. They don't send one with every kit because you don't need a new brush.
Yeah.
I have now invested in brushes where I have a wash brush and I have a light kit. I have a light box now where I put something like this. This is a friend's, this is actually a Woolfer's building in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I traced it and I made 2 iterations of it. This was the first one and you can see the lines are kind of wiggly. And then this was the second one I made with ruler. And the colors are kind of off, but I was learning to mix in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, for me, it doesn't look like learning, but obviously.
Well, I want to show you my latest. I finished this yesterday. A lady asked for me for her. She has a favorite house in Dillon Beach, and she has a soul dog who died 2 years ago. And she asked for a painting of the house and the dog. And I just made this.
That's so sweet.
And there's my little dog.
Well,
and I studied and studied and studied dog, but I'm gonna go up and present this to her on Sunday.
Yeah. I have to say, I think I might have to kind of manage expectations here, because I don't think with a box of Let's Make Art, you're going to turn into what you're producing there. But, I read a little bit up on like how beneficial painting really is, because it's sort of like meditating with your hands, because you really take your mind off of the daily chores and you create something. So it might not be like the last painting you showed us in the beginning, but I think it's probably something which could be recommended.
Anybody can aspire. And I hear, I ran a mom's group with about 40 women and about 75 kids 20 years ago. And I started at church and it's still going now. And we had a craft day. It was twice a month. And we had a craft day. And so many women had labeled themselves, I'm not crafty, I don't do art. And I refused even 20 years ago to allow women to think that. And I would try to pick, I had a crafts person, a board member, but we tried to pick things that people can do. And I believe that women have so much creativity in them and so much skill. And somebody told them long ago that they were not artistic, or they didn't have it in them, or it wasn't encouraged. And I think that everybody should try this. I mean, I'm so into it. I wish that I would love to hold classes. I would love to have this be like a quilting bee to help women, because I think I nanny for an 11-year-old girl, and she'll say, I don't like this, or I don't like that. And I'll say, Iona, you're too young to say you're not good at, or and I see how it happens. And so I encourage anybody for $35 or $40, get one Let's Make Art kit. She's the only one I really know who has what she has.
And I have to say, I looked them up, and it's a really good company. They're very community oriented. They're women owned. It's a small business. They have these, I was really enthusiastic about, they have these little postcards in there with positive messages you can to someone. So it felt really, really good. And I have to say that I am very happy that you brought this to our attention. And it's such a positive message, and it's such a positive thing we can do. And I hope we inspired a few people to pick up arts, and or maybe re-pick up arts.
Right.
And
I encourage anybody
create something.
to reach out to me on the Woolfer website or on Facebook. And I will, in fact, Lisa English and I are chasing each other. She wants me to videotape what I do and how I do it, and kind of teach her. And I feel like I'm in a position at this point. If anybody wants to play, I'm up for a play date, a happy hour, and I will help anybody along. I really just want to encourage this out of people. I don't like it when people say I can't, or I don't, or I'm not artistic. I encourage anybody to try it.
So we're going to end on that positive note. We can do anything we've set our mind to, and making art is probably a good thing to set your mind to.
Thank you so much, everybody.